Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA. We have grown-ass men and women out here doing whatever they can to try to make sure that does not happen.
You know, I usually stay out of these conversations, but with Caitlin Clark, I can't stay silent anymore.
What happens when one of basketball's biggest icons watches the Wnba's brightest young star become the center of another heated controversy? LeBron James's reported reaction to Alyssa Thomas's physical play against Caitlin Clark has sparked intense debate across the basketball community, and we're about to break it all down. But before we get into it, here's something to think about. Have you ever seen a professional athlete receive the level of constant physical attention and scrutiny that Caitlin Clark has faced since entering the league? Everything changed after the highly discussed game involving the Phoenix Mercury, where the ongoing conversation about how Clark is defended reached another level. The events of that matchup reportedly reshaped how LeBron James views what's happening around the Wnba. According to the claims being discussed, LeBron didn't see the incident as simply hard basketball. He viewed it as something far beyond normal competition, reportedly calling it one of the most cowardly actions he has witnessed on a basketball court in decades. That's the statement that's now fueling one of the biggest conversations in basketball.
Sick of watching Caitlin getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
The moment LeBron James reportedly watched the clip of Alyssa Thomas making contact with Caitlin Clark after Clark had already been dealing with an apparent eye poke, he was said to have reacted immediately. Throughout his legendary NBA career, LeBron has competed against some of the toughest and most physical players the game has ever seen. Because of that experience, he understands the difference between intense competition and actions that spark questions about sportsmanship. What stood out to him most, according to the claims surrounding his remarks, wasn't just the contact itself, it was the timing of it. That detail quickly became a major talking point, and as LeBron's reported comments spread, Alyssa Thomas found herself facing a fresh wave of criticism from fans across the basketball world. If you're enjoying this breakdown, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, let's continue. LeBron reportedly addressed an issue that many fans had already been debating, but that few high-profile basketball figures had openly discussed. In his view, there is a clear line separating aggressive, championship-level defense from making contact with a player who isn't in a position to protect herself. Having spent decades battling relentless defenders, LeBron knows how physical elite basketball can be. But he has often emphasized that true competitors challenge each other face-to-face, rather than relying on questionable plays when an opponent is vulnerable. That's why, according to the discussion surrounding his comments, he believed this incident was so difficult to defend. The conversation intensified even further after Alyssa Thomas responded publicly. Rather than acknowledging that the play may have gone too far, she suggested that she was being unfairly criticized, saying, "Damned if I do, damned if I don't." That response only fueled more debate instead of calming the situation. According to the reported perspective attributed to LeBron, the greatest competitors don't avoid responsibility when controversy follows them. They accept accountability, especially when another player's safety becomes part of the discussion. In his view, elite athletes allow their performances to define them instead of spending time defending questionable moments. That shifted the conversation beyond basketball ability alone. It became a broader discussion about professionalism, accountability, and the standards expected from the sport's biggest stars. LeBron also reportedly praised Caitlin Clark's exceptional court vision, elite shooting range, and ability to elevate the players around her. Those qualities have helped establish her as one of the brightest young talents in basketball. At the same time, he stressed that protecting players and preserving the integrity of the game should always remain a priority. A player with Clark's talent, he suggested, should be focused on developing her game and reaching her enormous potential, not constantly worrying about unnecessary physical contact or controversial plays. He also argued that targeting elite players instead of trying to outplay them through preparation, discipline, and execution reflects the wrong competitive mindset. Basketball, he believes, should always be decided by skill, strategy, and effort, not by actions that unnecessarily put another player at risk. Those reported remarks quickly became one of the biggest talking points in the basketball community. LeBron also compared the physical treatment Clark has received to challenges many superstar athletes have faced throughout their careers. However, he reportedly made one thing very clear: there is an important difference between tough, physical basketball and behavior that crosses the line. He also commended Clark for handling the enormous pressure that comes with becoming one of the faces of women's basketball at such an early stage of her professional career. Another point reportedly raised by LeBron centered on the league's long-term future. If unnecessary or dangerous plays against its biggest stars aren't addressed appropriately, he believes the wrong message could be sent. That controversy generates more attention than excellence on the court. In his opinion, the continued growth of the Wnba depends on protecting its top talent while maintaining a game built on fairness, competition, and respect. He also argued that the next generation of athletes is watching closely. Young players should look to the WNBA as an example of elite skill, dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship, not as a place where questionable incidents overshadow great basketball. Perhaps the strongest part of LeBron's reported perspective, however, was his confidence in Caitlin Clark's future. Despite the physical challenges, the scrutiny, and the constant attention surrounding her career, he believes her talent and determination will continue to drive her forward, allowing her to accomplish even greater things as her career progresses. According to the perspective being attributed to LeBron James, every attempt to intimidate Caitlin Clark will only strengthen her resolve. History has shown that many of basketball's greatest players were shaped by adversity, and challenges often become the fuel that pushes elite competitors to another level. Rather than being discouraged, Clark is expected to keep responding the way great players always have, through talent, composure, and a relentless commitment to improving her game. Drawing from his own career, LeBron reportedly pointed out that every superstar eventually becomes the focus of physical defense and constant scrutiny. It's simply part of reaching the highest level. But he also recognized that Clark is navigating something even more demanding. Along with facing tough opponents, she's carrying the enormous expectations and media attention that come with being one of the most recognizable names in women's basketball. From that viewpoint, supporting players like Clark goes far beyond defending a single athlete. It's about protecting the values that make the sport worth watching. According to the discussion surrounding his remarks, Clark represents many of basketball's best qualities: elite court vision, remarkable shooting ability, competitive fire, and the power to inspire an entirely new generation of fans and young athletes. LeBron also reportedly suggested that the WNBA is entering a defining chapter in its history. How the league responds to moments like these could influence its image and culture for years to come. In his view, the league now faces an important decision. It can prioritize protecting its biggest stars, allowing players like Caitlin Clark to continue elevating the game and attracting new audiences. Or it can risk allowing unnecessary controversies and questionable on-court behavior to overshadow the incredible talent the league has worked so hard to showcase. The message reportedly associated with LeBron was straightforward: the choices made today could shape the future direction of the WNBA. That naturally leads to the question fans continue asking: will the league take stronger steps to protect Caitlin Clark, as many supporters have called for, or will incidents involving highly physical play continue to spark controversy throughout the season? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with the reported criticism of Alyssa Thomas's actions? Or do you believe the reaction has gone too far? And perhaps most importantly, should the WNBA adopt stricter measures to better protect its biggest stars while preserving the physical nature of the game? If you're enjoying this analysis, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss future basketball coverage. As this story continues to develop, one thing has become increasingly clear: the conversation has grown far beyond a single game or one controversial sequence. It now centers on the future of women's basketball, the standards the league wants to uphold, and how its most marketable players are treated throughout their careers. Few rookies have entered the WNBA carrying the level of attention that Caitlin Clark has. Every performance is analyzed from every possible angle. Every highlight spreads across social media within minutes. Every mistake becomes a headline, while every success adds to the enormous expectations surrounding her career. At the same time, veteran players across the league continue competing with pride, experience, and intensity every time they step onto the floor. The challenge for the Wnba is maintaining that fierce competitive spirit while ensuring games never cross the line into unnecessary or dangerous situations. Fans embrace physical basketball. They enjoy passionate rivalries and emotional matchups. What they ultimately want is elite competition, decided by skill, effort, and execution, with every player receiving fair and consistent treatment. That's a major reason the reported comments connected to LeBron James have generated so much attention. No matter which side of the debate people are on, one thing stands out. Caitlin Clark has refused to let criticism, physical play, or constant controversy determine the course of her career. Instead of getting distracted by the headlines, she has continued to focus on what she does best, playing basketball at the highest level. Game after game, Clark has continued to prove why so many fans and analysts believe she represents the future of women's basketball. Her resilience, composure, and ability to keep moving forward despite the spotlight are major reasons she has earned admiration from basketball fans around the world. At the same time, the WNBA is experiencing unprecedented growth. Attendance continues to climb, television audiences are reaching new highs, social media engagement is stronger than ever, and countless new fans are discovering the league for the very first time. That's why moments like these extend far beyond a single player or one controversial game. They influence how the entire basketball community views the league, its players, and its future. As the season moves forward, every matchup will carry even greater significance. Every Caitlin Clark appearance will attract enormous attention, and every major storyline will be analyzed from every angle. The reported comments attributed to LeBron James have only added more fuel to an already intense conversation surrounding the Wnba. Every controversial play will face increased scrutiny. Every officiating decision will be debated by fans and analysts alike. And each game has the potential to become another defining chapter in what is already one of the league's most closely followed seasons. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think the reported remarks from LeBron James accurately reflect what's happening in today's WNBA? Has the league found the right balance between protecting its players and preserving the physical, competitive nature of professional basketball? And looking ahead, what impact do you think this entire situation could have on Alyssa Thomas, Caitlin Clark, and the future direction of the league? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Respectful discussion is what makes the basketball community so engaging, and your perspective could even inspire a future video. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth coverage of the WNBA, NBA stars, basketball controversies, and the biggest stories shaping the game, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. Basketball continues to evolve every single day, and some of the sport's biggest stories are still unfolding. Thanks for watching and for all of your incredible support. We'll be back soon with more updates, deeper analysis, and the latest developments from around the basketball world. Until next time, take care, and don't forget to check out the next video on your screen.